Hello students. Today we will read chapter number 1 Resources. Let's start. Mona and Raju were helping Amma to clean their house. Look at all these things: clothes, utensils, food grains, combs, this bottle of honey, books. Each of these has a use, said Mona. That is why they are important, said Amma. These are resources. What is a resource? Was Raju's question to Amma. Anything that can be used to satisfy a need is a resource, replied Amma. Look around you and observe. You will be able to identify many types of resources. The water you drink when you are thirsty, the electricity you use in your house, the rickshaw you use to get home from school, the textbook you use to study are all resources. Your father has prepared a tasty snack for you. The fresh vegetables he has used are also a resource. Water, electricity, rickshaw, vegetables, and textbook has something in common. They have all been used by you, so they have utility. Utility or usability is what makes an object or substance a resource. How does something become a resource? Raju now wanted to know. Amma told the children that things become resources only when they have a value. Its use or utility gives it a value. All resources have some value, said Amma. Value means what? Some resources have economic value, some do not. For example, metals have an economic value, a beautiful landscape may not, but both are important and satisfy human needs. Some resources can become economically valuable with time. Your grandmother's home remedies have no commercial value today, but if they are patented and sold by a medical firm tomorrow, they could become economically valuable. Time and technology are two important factors that can change substances into resources. Both are related to the needs of the pupil. Pupil themselves are the most important resource. It is their ideas, knowledge, inventions, and discoveries that lead to the creation of more resources. Each discovery or invention leads to many others. The discovery of fire led to the practice of cooking and other process, while the invention of wheel ultimately resulted in development of newer modes of transport. The technology to create hydroelectricity has turned energy in fast flowing water into an important resource. Types of resource. Resources are generally classified into natural, human made, and human. Natural resources. Resources that are drawn from nature and used without much modification are called natural resources. The air we breathe, the water in our rivers and lakes, the soil, minerals are all natural resources. Many of these resources are free gifts of nature and can be used directly. In some cases, tools and technology may be needed to use a natural resource in the best possible way. Natural resources are classified into different groups depending upon their level of development and use, origin, stock, and distribution. On the basis of their development and use, resources can be classified into two groups: actual resources and potential resources. Actual resources are those resources whose quantity is known. These resources are being used in the present. The rich deposits of coal in Ruhr region of Germany and petroleum in the West Asia, the dark soil of the Deccan Plateau in Maharashtra are all actual resources. Potential resources are those whose entire quantity may not be known, and these are not being used at present. These resources could be used in the future. The level of technology we have at present may not be advanced enough to easily utilize these resources. The uranium found in Ladakh is an example of potential resources that could be used in the future. High speed winds were a potential resources 200 years ago. Today, they are an actual resource, and wind farms generate energy using windmills, like in Netherlands. You will find some in Nagarcoil is in Tamil Nadu and on the Gujarat coast. Based on their origin, resources can be abiotic or biotic. Abiotic resources are non living, while biotic resources are living. Soil, rocks, and minerals are abiotic, but plants and animals are biotic resources. Natural resources can be broadly categorized into renewable and non renewable resources. Renewable resources are those which get renewed or replenished quickly. Some of these are unlimited and are not affected by human activities, such as solar and wind energy. Yet, careless use of certain renewable resources like water, soil, and forest can affect their stock. Water seems to be an unlimited renewable resources, but shortage and drying up of natural water resources is a major problem in many parts of the world today. Non renewable resources are those resources which have a limited stock. Once the stocks are exhausted, it may take thousands of years to be renewed or replenished. Since this period is much more than human lifespans, such as resources are considered non renewable. Coals, petroleum, and natural gases are of some examples. On the basis of their distribution, resources can be ubiquitous and localized. Resources that are found everywhere, like in the air we breathe, are but those which are found only in certain places are localized, like copper and iron ore. The distribution of natural resources depends upon number of physical factors like terrain, climate, and altitude. The distribution of resources is unequal because these factors differ so much over the earth.